Okay, let's just jump right in with a question that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction. But what if it's not? What if the greatest energy breakthrough in history isn't going to come from solar panels or wind turbines, but it's actually hiding in all the trash we throw away every single day?
So, today we're going to dig into this really wild idea called the landfill energy hypothesis. And the theory is pretty simple, but also kind of mind blowing that our landfills, our garbage dumps, are accidentally turning into these giant, powerful energy centers. It sounds crazy, I know, but let's see how all the pieces of this puzzle fit together.
All right, before we can even get to the landfills, we have to start with the planet itself. See, this whole hypothesis is built on a much older idea, the idea that our Earth is crisscrossed by this hidden grid of natural energy.
First up, you have to know about ley lines. Think of them like the planet's circulatory system, but for energy. It's this theory that all these ancient monuments and sacred places, they weren't just built anywhere. Nope. They were deliberately placed on these invisible energy highways that crisscross the globe. Okay, so ley lines might sound a little out there, but this is where it gets real. Let's talk about telluric currents. These are not a theory. These are a measurable scientific fact. We're talking about actual low-frequency electricity flowing through the Earth's crust. So this idea of an energy grid, it's not just mystical talk. There's real science that kind of backs it up. And here's the kicker. When you look at all these incredible, mysterious places around the world, Stonehenge, the pyramids, Machu Picchu, places people say have this special energy, well, guess what? They all seem to be built right on top of these ley line intersections and in places with strong telluric currents. It's a pattern that's, well, it's pretty hard to just write off as a coincidence. So that leads to the next big question, right? If this energy grid is real, can we tap into it? Can we build things that channel that power? And maybe more importantly, could we be doing it without even realizing it? Now, you've probably heard this theory before, but it's absolutely crucial for what comes next. The idea is this. What if the Great Pyramids weren't tombs at all? What if they were actually machines, functional power plants designed to pull in and focus the Earth's natural energy? And when you start looking at the details, it's compelling. I mean, think about it. They're built on these specific energy hotspots. They're made with conductive materials like granite and quartz. They're often built over underground rivers, which are great for conducting those telluric currents. And they're aligned to the Earth's magnetic field with insane precision. It's a perfect recipe for a giant energy machine. Okay, so keep that picture in your head. The pyramid as a power plant. Now let's fast forward to today. If the ancients built these things on purpose, what are we building, completely by accident, that just so happens to follow the exact same blueprint? And this is it. This is the heart of the whole idea. The theory suggests that your local garbage dump, yeah, the landfill, the place we literally throw things away to forget about them, might be an accidental modern-day pyramid. I know, it sounds absolutely ridiculous. How can a heap of garbage be anything like a pyramid? But stick with me here, because when you start to compare them side by side, the similarities are actually kind of spooky. Okay, let's just look at the facts. Shape. A pyramid is a purpose-built pyramid. A landfill, over time, it naturally forms a massive mound, a pyramid shape. What about materials? The ancients used granite and quartz. Well, what do we throw away? Tons of conductive metals, old electronics, which are full of quartz crystals. And the foundation. Pyramids were often built over underground water. And where do we tend to build landfills? You guessed it, often near water tables. It's like we're accidentally following an ancient blueprint. So how would this even work? Well, the theory breaks it down like this. Step 1, we fill these pits with tons of conductive stuff. Step 2, it gets piled higher and higher into that pyramid shape. Step 3, all the organic gunk starts to rot, which creates its own bioenergy, heat, methane gas. Step 4, the massive weight of all that garbage puts immense pressure on all those quartz crystals from our old electronics, creating what's called a piezoelectric charge, basically electricity from pressure. You put it all together, and what you get is a chaotic, messy, but maybe, just maybe, an incredibly powerful energy generator. Okay, so if you thought that was a bit out there, hold on. The theory goes even deeper. There are a couple of final missing links that are proposed to take this whole thing to another level. This is where it gets really interesting. Think about this for a second. A landfill isn't just a dead pile of junk, right? It's a teeming ecosystem. You've got rats, ants, snakes, all digging these complex tunnel networks. And the theory suggests these tunnels could act like biological wiring, a natural circuit board, creating tiny channels for all that built-up energy to move around.
And then we have the weirdest part of the theory. And just a heads up, this is the most out there piece of the puzzle. Landfills contain everything, from us, hair, skin cells, sometimes even ashes. The hypothesis speculates that this creates a kind of human consciousness residue, that this could add a whole psychic or spiritual layer to the energy, making these places a lot like ancient burial mounds.
So let's just recap. You've got the pyramid shape, you've got the right materials, you've got bioenergy from decay, you've got piezoelectric charges, you've got animal tunnels acting as wiring, and you've maybe even got this spiritual energy component. When you stack it all up, it paints a pretty wild picture, doesn't it? Could we actually be looking at a massive energy source and it's just disguised as a pile of trash?
And this is where it all comes back to hard science. There's something called the Schumann resonance. It's basically the Earth's natural frequency, its electromagnetic heartbeat, sitting at about 7.83 hertz. So the final question is, if these landfills are generating their own massive, chaotic energy fields, how are those fields interacting with the planet's own natural rhythm? Are they disrupting it? Amplifying it? We don't know, but the possibilities are huge. In the end, this whole hypothesis leaves us with this powerful idea, summed up perfectly by a quote from the source material. We are standing on the edge of a discovery that could change everything. The only question is, will we recognize it in time? It really makes you think, doesn't it? It forces you to look at the things we call waste in a totally new light, and to wonder if maybe, just maybe, our biggest problem could actually be our greatest solution.